Wanted to start this video out with an obvious spoiler warning for the anime given, as well as a quick content warning, as this anime covers topics such as grief, suicide, and homophobia, and the visuals I'll be using during this video will be of the manga. However, this is a deep dive into the anime. Please enjoy the video. Mafuyu Sato is a shy, introverted high school student that was even described as one of his classmates as unapproachable. Mafuyu, for some strange reason, always carries a guitar with him, despite having no idea how to play it. And as fate would have it, a classmate of Mafuyu, Ryutsuka, plays the guitar, even being in a band himself. Ryutsuka reluctantly agrees to help the shy nobody with fixing the broken strings on his guitar, and after some begging and persistence from Mafuyu, Ryutsuka agrees to teach him how to play, and eventually this leads to Mafuyu joining Ryutsuka's band. This is where our story begins. A rash, aggressive, but ultimately compassionate boy named Ryutsuka, and a quiet, shy, unapproachable boy named Mafuyu. Given is a boys' love anime that centers around this character, Mafuyu, in his journey to, major spoiler warning incoming, grief the loss of his lover, a boy who committed suicide named Yuki. Typically, boys' love stories are often quite fluffy, full of sweet, cute moments, low-stakes conflict, and love stories that, I think, fail to actually encompass the pain and hardship that come with a lot of queer relationships due to our society being so unaccepting of it. It is perfectly okay to have cute stories with queer characters that are idealistic. Not everything needs to tackle such serious topics as what Given presents. I like a lot of BL, even the ones that are more fluffy and just focus on the cute stuff. Mafuyu, throughout the story, is unable to access his emotions to express them, and frequently tries to run from this traumatic past of his. In very emotional moments throughout the story, Mafuyu is unable to cry, and avoids almost everyone and everything that reminds him of the loss he's grieving. Cracks quickly begin to form in this attempted escape from his past, as a girl classmate of Ryutsuka's finds out about Mafuyu's lost lover, and even worse, finds out that person was a boy. This classmate, blinded by jealousy, tells Ryutsuka about Mafuyu's former lover, both outing Mafuyu and making up a false rumor that Mafuyu was somehow responsible for the suicide of Yuki. This classmate would later apologize to Ryutsuka for telling him this personal information about Mafuyu, never apologizing to Mafuyu, by the way. Absolute faux behavior from her. This is why straights are not invited to Pride. This moment in the story really sticks out to me, as the main hardship Mafuyu has to deal with, grief, is something universal, something almost everyone can somewhat relate to and understand. But this moment in the story presents a uniquely queer hardship of Mafuyu, being outed and being demonized because of the taboo nature of his former relationship. Mafuyu does not just get the grief like everyone else would in such a traumatic circumstance. Mafuyu has been forced to hide this pain of his because he can't tell almost anyone that he was in love with a boy. This is what I believe is the underlying reason as to why Mafuyu is unable to access those emotions of his and properly mourn. He needs people that will not be judgmental of his queerness in order to even begin to mourn, a luxury that he and many other queer people don't have. Mafuyu needing an outlet to express his emotions, in theory, should make him a great songwriter for the band he just newly joined. He just so happens to be the vocalist as well. But this inability to access his emotions means that when tasked when writing a song for him to sing for the band's upcoming performance, he is unable to do so. Mafuyu, throughout the songwriting process, has to begin to come to terms with his past, having tough conversations with former friends of his, and going back to places that hold memories with his lost lover. Mafuyu even yells at a former friend of his, Haragi, during their conversation, the first and only time Mafuyu raises his voice at any character throughout the show. All this work of Mafuyu comes to culmination in the band's performance, where Mafuyu pulls out some surprise lyrics in a moment where both the reader and Mafuyu begin to actually see how Mafuyu feels. The author, throughout the show, seemingly purposely withheld revealing a lot of Mafuyu's feelings for this climatic scene, as it allows for a very beautiful moment where the reader is experiencing Mafuyu realizing how he feels at the same time he does. After this performance, Mafiu cries for the first time as well. Ryusuke kisses Mafiu in this scene as well. The two actions in tandem, symbolizing that Mafiu, through this band and through Ryusuke, has found a place where he can be open about his trauma, despite the taboo and queer nature of it. After the climax of this performance, the last few episodes become a lot more fluffy, cutesy, with lower stakes conflict, but these happier moments, unlike a lot of other BL, feel earned. Like these cute moments where things have gotten better as a result of the character's work and survival through hardship. I think the key word in that final sentence is survival, as ultimately this is a show about Mafiu losing someone who he loves by means of suicide. Something that I find quite interesting about this show is how we only get to explore the character of Yuki through the memories of Mafiu, and don't actually get a real justification of his suicide. I can't help but feel this is somewhat intentional by the author, whenever getting in depth about why Yuki went to take his life, or going over much of what his life is like outside of Mafiu. We, as the reader, don't really get to form much of an emotional bond or relationship with Yuki as a character, and well, given that Yuki is no longer alive, that feels really fitting. Instead, we are seeing the burdens Yuki passed on by choosing to take his life. We are made to sympathize with Mafiu, who has to continuing living in a world so cruel that the one he cared about most decided it wasn't worth being in anymore. Although Mafiu also gets to now move forward, he finds someone new who is special to him, patches up past wounds with old friends of his, and even makes new ones. By the end of the story, Ryusuke now gets to be to Mafiu what Yuki was, but ultimately isn't. This is what happens when you take your own life. The burdens of your life are absolved from you and passed on to others, and you exist only inside the memories of others, instead as a person with free will and an ability to change and grow. What truly makes us human, however, is our ability to understand this pain from one another and relate to it. Mafiu, through being the victim of the story and all the suffering he had to go through, was able to make art, and the audience was able to empathize with him through that art. Mafiu is able to grow and move on in a way Yuki robbed himself of ever doing so. Thanks for watching. I know this was a pretty deep topic today, but I hope you all enjoyed this brief analysis of an anime I really like. I didn't cover all of the story, and there's a lot of parts I skimmed past through for time's sake, or just because, I really wanted to focus on specific elements of the story. But if you did like this analysis, please subscribe, happy Pride Month, and remember to stay safe out there. Bye bye.